Khamzat Chimaev versus Leon Edwards is the fight to make for UFC 269. Jorge Masvidal just pulled out, so we lose that epic featured bout of the night between him and Edwards. It's a beef matchup, and there was obviously a lot of hype there. So what's a fight that's going to sell, right? I feel like Khamzat Chimaev is the guy. Everybody's curious of new blood towards the top of the weight class. Khamzat, how does he do? How does he fare versus somebody at that level, the elite caliber of the 170-pound division? I feel like we have to make it. So let's talk about this matchup, guys. Smash that like button if you're new. Subscribe to the channel. Leon Edwards, Khamzat Chimaev, early prediction for this potential matchup. Now, Leon Edwards is tremendously well-rounded. You look at his kickboxing skill set, very high level. He's slick with his striking. He controls range well. You look at his last fight versus Diaz. Besides that final moment that Nate Diaz was able to have him, nearly out on his feet, he was wobbling bad towards the very end of the fight. Was not even close. It was domination by Edwards. He outstruck Nate Diaz. He outgrappled Nate Diaz. He showed that he's a real contender at 170 and has a high-level skill set. And I mean, you can't really sleep on Leon even in this matchup versus Khamzat. He's 6'2". He's got a 74-inch reach. And you look at the opponents. I mean, Belal Muhammad fight, he was winning in no contest. Beat RDA, dominated Donald Cerrone. Close fight versus Gunnar Nelson a while back. And, if you look deep into the competition level, you see, maybe not all the best guys on his rise to this unbeaten streak, but he beat Luque, granted 2017, Luque still a win, and his most recent loss is Kamaru Usman. So Leon Edwards is one away from the title fight, and he needs somebody to give him a fight. And I feel like he's not just going to be placed into the matchup with the win over Nate Diaz. He's going to be forced to fight somebody, and especially short notice, who's the guy that's willing to fight? Khamzat has already posted on Twitter, let's run it. Khamzat Chimaev is 10-0 and looking like the next big thing in the UFC. And what a better opportunity than now to place him into a spot that could earn him a title shot. I believe Khamzat's the future star. This is the real deal fast track, and the stars have aligned for the matchup. Usman beat Colby twice, beat Gilbert Burns, has a win over Leon Edwards. So obviously if Edwards was given the title shot, I don't think too many people would complain because at least it's new blood. It's a fresh contender. It's not Masvidal 3 versus Usman, but he has to fight somebody first. And to me, the only guy that makes true sense is going to be Khamzat Chimaev. Sure, maybe you could throw Luque in on short notice, but why? That fight doesn't nearly intrigue the fans as much as Khamzat. You look at the run he's on, 4-0 in the UFC, and he's taken 2 shots. He's taking everybody to the floor and beating them up, or he's knocking them out in 17 seconds. He hit Mershart one time with the right cross and dropped him. The striking game is real for Khamzat Chimaev. He's not just a purist grappler. He can also beat you up on the feet. You look at him sparring Alexander Gustafsson. He's one of his main sparring partners. Gustafsson, 205-pound contender, has fought at heavyweight. He was dropped by a body shot by Khamzat Chimaev. So now you match him up versus Leon. Same height, 6'2 versus 6'2. Little bit of an advantage actually in the reach, 1 inch for Khamzat. I think this is hell for Leon because the wrestling is going to be too much. Khamzat will press forward, clinch him up, look to put him against the cage and get him to the floor, maybe pick him up and run him across the octagon and take him down like he did to Leach. Standing up, Leon doesn't have that touch of death power. He's a guy with good volume and good technical skill sets, and he goes out and wins decision. I mean, who's the last guy Leon Edwards knocked out? It's been a very long time. He has a submission win over Albert Tumanov in 2016, the last finish. The last knockout was against Seth Baczynski in 2015. It was 8 seconds. Khamzat's finishing everyone, and honestly, the hype towards bringing Leon into a title shot right away, if they were to say, we're going to wait and just put him on the shelf until Usman's ready, it's not a sellable pay-per-view. It's not a fight that gets the fans intrigued. Khamzat Chimaev, Leon Edwards, 2 ways to look at it. Leon could say, oh, I'm fighting a guy that's in the back end of the top 15. Let's see what he's actually ranked. We'll pull that up. But a back ender in the top 15, a guy that hasn't proven himself. Or he can look at it, I am fighting the guy that everybody feels is the next big thing, and I'm going to silence this prospect. Unfortunately, he's number 10. I was going to say, unfortunately, he's not ranked. He's here. He is ranked at number 10. Khamzat Chimaev is number 10. Leon Edwards, number 3. To me, that's a sensible matchup for the number 1 contender fight. The most hyped prospect we've had maybe since Conor McGregor. or Habib, Khamzat, Leon. It's the fight we have to do. And when you look at the matchup, I think it strongly leans towards Khamzat. It was originally booked before. They were supposed to do it, and then unfortunately it fell through 3 times. It was supposed to be happening in 2020, and then early in 2021, January and March, doesn't happen. Maybe it happens at the end. We're looking at that fight being December 11th, so about a month from when this is being recorded. Khamzat's ready to go. He just had a dominant performance over Leach where he took no damage. He looked in great shape. The match to make is Leon Edwards, Khamzat. And when you look at the fight, it's a Khamzat fight. Leon Edwards is not going to have the tools to deal with a finisher like Khamzat. So maybe in his mind, he's fearful of the matchup, but he also has to know if you wait on the shelf and say, no, I'm just going to wait it out, or give me somebody else, I feel like that drops his stock with the UFC. They want guys that are willing to take fights. Khamzat will fight anybody. He says he's going to kill everybody. Let's do this fight. Leon Edwards versus Khamzat. Short notice. Place in Khamzat. And I'm telling you guys, Khamzat beats him. Khamzat beats him in the second round, probably by submission. Could see him TKOing Leon Edwards, and maybe he shocks us all and goes out and puts on a stand-up clinic and knocks him out in the first round. I'd be fearful if I was Leon of this matchup, but he needs to look at it as he's fighting the most hype prospect maybe in UFC history and the guy that they want to bring on the fast track to the title. I feel like he'll take the matchup. If he knows number 1 contender fight, it's guaranteed he fights for the belt, and he needs to probably be paid a good sum. Maybe give him that win bonus without needing the win, because the likelihood of him winning is low. I feel like Khamzat, betting odds-wise, I think he opens around minus 250, minus 300. I think he's going to be a bigger favorite than a lot of guys, that would even be ranked much higher than him. I feel like I think that Khamzat will be a bigger favorite versus Leon Edwards, as if Leon were to fight Kamaru Usman. I think the odds would actually be a little bit closer for Usman Edwards. Khamzat's the guy, and he's the guy that wins the fight. And you have the amazing option of then putting Khamzat Chimaev in a title shot. Who's intriguing? We don't want to see Masvidal 3. We're not going to give a third Colby fight. Leon Edwards without a big win. I mean, he beat Nate Diaz, but he had a terrible finish to the fight. It's not a big sellable pay-per-view. It's not a fight that fans want to really see. If he goes out there, if Leon beats Khamzat Chimaev, he beats the most hyped prospect we've ever seen. Yeah, give him that title fight. And I feel like he'll be ready to go. He'll deliver, and I think he'll sell on the pay-per-view. But without a key win, what's the signature win? Nate Diaz? That's not a signature win. That's not a great win to have and then fight for the belt. Obviously, Masvidal, different scenario, right? Jorge Masvidal gets the title shot, fighting Nate Diaz, but Jorge Masvidal's a different sellable marketplace, right? Like Jorge Masvidal is one of the most sellable guys in the UFC, and then he fought Usman twice. He took it on short notice. He loses a decision, comes back, gets knocked out the second time. Leon Edwards doesn't have the sell. He does not yet, but beating Khamzat gives it to him. I want to see Khamzat versus Leon Edwards. Let's make this fight. Let's not beat around the bush. Leon needs to be willing to take it. He's prepared for Khamzat before. He knows the skill set Khamzat brings. Let's go. Let's run it. And I'm telling you guys, Khamzat runs through him. He smashes Leon Edwards, Khamzat Chimaev. Then from there, fights Usman for the belt. And I feel like if anybody can beat Kamaru Usman, it's going to be Khamzat. He's the only guy. 6'2". He's got good reach, 75 inches. He's taller. He's arguably bigger than Kamaru Usman. I mean, physically, his frame, it matches up well. Khamzat comfortably fighting at middleweight as well. So that, to me, is a no-brainer matchup. Let's make it happen. UFC, sign the line, bring these guys together. And for Masvidal, him and Colby Covington, and let's coach the Ultimate Fighter, please. Let's spice up tough, because the last season was great with the fights. Volkanovski and Ortega were decent coaches. Can you imagine Colby and Masvidal coaching the Ultimate Fighter? Now, I don't know if they're still boys, because people have speculated that behind the scenes they are. So maybe, they play some acts, they hype it up, they sell the show even more. It's a no-brainer. This is actually the best possible case scenario for the UFC. Because if you go Leon versus Masvidal and Masvidal wins, there's nobody for the title fight. Then what, does Luke get a shot? I don't think so. It's Leon Edwards, Khamzat Chimaev. Without a doubt, it's Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington in 2022. And let's see who wins this bout. I got Khamzat Chimaev winning. I think he goes on to fight Usman. And if there is a man that can dethrone him, and how great is this? Because if Usman is able to beat Khamzat Chimaev in that title fight, assuming that happens, he will tie Anderson Silva's 16-0 UFC start record. Nothing better. Let's give him the test. Let's do it. Khamzat Chimaev, Leon Edwards, and I have Khamzat. Khamzat's going to run through him. Smash by Khamzat Chimaev. KO, TKO, or submission. Round number 2, I'm leaning rear naked choke. I feel like he's going to beat the brakes off Leon, and then he's going to choke him out. And he's going to show that he's a level above all these guys, and he's ready for the world title fight. Khamzat is something we have never seen before. He is a guy with amazing wrestling, great top control, ground and pound, extraordinary athlete, long, rangy, and he has a good level kickboxing game. He can stand up. I think he can mix it up with some of the best guys striking in the UFC's welterweight division. I think Khamzat could even make a run at middleweight. I'm on the Khamzat train, as you guys know if you follow the channel, but he also has proven that he has that skill set. He ran through Leach, and it was not even competitive. Khamzat Chimaev for the belt with a win over Leon Edwards. Let's make the matchup, and we're going to see Khamzat win. If you're betting, bet it as soon as the line opens and throw a chunk at Khamzat Chimaev, because that's what I'll be doing. Much love to everybody. Fun little early prediction for this potential matchup. Smash that like button if you're new. Subscribe to the channel. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. Much love to all the supporters, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.